Well, this festival wasn't your idea,
No.
but what about the proposals for the council? Was that your idea?
I was told when I first took up the role, which was just on 3 years ago now, that one of the recommendations of the governance review that had happened was that we should do something about the structure, but they hadn't actually put that as a firm recommendation in their report. 6 months later, I wrote a paper which I called a think piece, which I basically spelt out the background as I saw it to what the problem was, and said that one way forward might be the setting up of a separate council that would basically be the voice of the u3as in the development of the trust.
So that's 2.5 years ago.
It's a bit, yes.
Why has it taken this long to get here?
Rome wasn't built in a day. And we had the history of knowing that in 2008 there'd been a proposal that was not accepted. In 2016 there'd been a consultation that never went as far as an AGM. We wanted to make sure that we knew what we were talking about and had something solid to say. And we also, which is where the Pilot Council comes in, wanted to not so much have a dry run, because the Pilot Council is not the same as the council that will be elected, because the Pilot Council has simply been bringing people together into a room to talk about different things of interest. It hasn't had the remit to be making recommendations. It hasn't had the remit to be part of the financial planning and policy planning cycle. And this is where the council becomes different, because the council will become a substantial part of the thinking of the u3a. And many of the things that people complain about will be things that will go with the council to look at and to see whether what is actually happening.
Now, thinking about the movement as a whole, we've got small rural u3as, we've got large urban ones, we've got very, very new ones, we've got ones that have been around for decades, we've got
ones that were born yesterday.
We've got large ones, small ones, we've got homogenous ones, we've got some that are very diverse in all different senses of that word. Isn't bringing them together, particularly when we've got this bottom-up structure, it sounds like a bit of a nightmare to me.
It depends on what you mean by bringing them together. Because one thing that I've noticed when I've been going around u3as, and as you know, I've been visiting when I came and saw you in Croydon, is that though u3as, as you say, vary considerably, at the base of all the u3as that I've had any contact with has been the original concepts of our founders of being a volunteer-led mutual aid organisation with a learning objective, but that is within the context of enjoying the experience and defining learning in a very broad way. Now, clearly, there is a huge difference between a city-based u3a with 2,500 members and a u3a in the Welsh Valleys with hoping to get up to 100 members. But when you speak to people, there's no real substantial difference. The problems may be different, because sailing a steamer is a bit different from sailing a dinghy, but the DNA is the same.